Dracula times JEKYLL and HYDE. What if Dracula helped Dr. Jekyll create his serum? Prologue. The blood beneath London. There are men who fear death, and there are men who have lived too long to remember why death was ever feared. Count Dracula belonged to the latter kind. He came to London beneath a sky the color of old iron, arriving without servants, luggage, or announcement. No carriage waited for him at the station. No hotel entered his name in its register. Yet before midnight, a house in Piccadilly, empty for nearly 11 years, showed a light behind its upper windows. The house had been purchased 3 months earlier by a solicitor acting for an unnamed foreign nobleman. The money had arrived in a black wooden box, each gold coin older than the nation in which it was spent. No furniture had been delivered. No coal had been ordered. No servant had been employed. Nevertheless, the neighbors sometimes heard footsteps after sunset. They heard doors opening in rooms. No living person had entered. They heard a man speaking in a language none of them recognized. And once, just before dawn, a woman returning from a hospital shift saw a tall figure standing behind an upper window. She claimed the gentleman had been watching the sunrise with the expression of a prisoner staring through the bars of his cell. That same night, Dr. Henry Jekyll received a visitor. Jekyll's laboratory stood behind his respectable home like a secret fastened to the back of a confession. The front room spoke of charity, medicine, and civilized conversation. The rooms behind them smelled of acid, burned salts, and questions whose names had no place in polite society. Jekyll was alone when the laboratory door opened. He had locked it. He was certain of that. A tall gentleman entered without haste. His clothes were black, his skin was pale, and his eyes held the red reflection of the furnace. "You are Dr. Henry Jekyll," the stranger said. Jekyll reached for the bell beside his desk. The stranger smiled. "If I meant you harm, doctor, the bell would not save you." "Who are you?" "Someone who has heard that you intend to separate virtue from corruption." Jekyll's hand stopped. No one knew the true purpose of his experiments. Not Dr. Lanyon, not Poole, not even Gabriel Utterson, the one man whose loyalty Jekyll had never doubted. "My research concerns disorders of the mind." "No," the stranger replied. "Your research concerns the soul." He crossed the laboratory and examined the instruments on Jekyll's table. Bottles of red and amber liquid stood beside pages filled with formulas. At the center rested a sealed glass vial containing Jekyll's unfinished serum. "You believe evil is an impurity," the visitor continued. "A substance hidden within a man that may be drawn out like poison from a wound." Jekyll struggled to conceal his fascination. "And you believe otherwise?" "I know otherwise." The stranger removed one glove. With a long fingernail, he opened the skin of his palm. Dark blood appeared, thicker than human blood and almost black beneath the gaslight. The wound closed before Jekyll's eyes. Jekyll stepped back. "What are you?" "My name is Dracula." The name meant little to Jekyll, but the way it was spoken seemed to darken the room. Dracula held his hand above an empty glass vessel. A single drop fell into it. The blood moved. It did not spread across the bottom. It gathered itself into a trembling sphere, as though it possessed some primitive will of its own. Jekyll stared. The scientist in him overcame the frightened man. He lifted the glass toward the lamp, turning it carefully between his fingers. The blood clung to the side closest to Dracula. When Jekyll stepped away from the Count, the drop stretched toward him before snapping back into itself. "Remarkable," Jekyll whispered. "I have been called many things," Dracula said. "That is among the kinder descriptions." "For centuries," the Count continued, "I have carried a hunger stronger than conscience, prayer, or love. You wish to divide one nature from another. I wish you to succeed." Jekyll placed the vessel on the table. You want me to cure you. I want you to remove the part of me that must feed. And in return, my blood contains what your serum lacks. It remembers every shape it has inhabited. It preserves flesh beyond death. It gives substance to that which should exist only in spirit. Jekyll looked from the blood to his unfinished formula. For years he had searched for a final reagent, something capable of binding the liberated personality into a stable physical form. Ordinary human chemistry had failed him. The divided self could emerge, but it could not remain without returning to its original body. Now the answer stood before him. If this works, Jekyll said, we might free mankind from its darkest impulses. Dracula's expression changed. For one moment, he did not look like a conqueror or a monster. He looked like a condemned man standing before an unlocked door. You speak of mankind, Dracula said. I speak only of myself. Every discovery begins with one subject. And every catastrophe begins with one man who believes his discovery belongs to the world. Jekyll studied him. You distrust science, yet you came to a scientist. I distrust certainty. Then why come at all? Dracula turned toward the high window. Beyond the glass, London's lamps glimmered through the fog. Because I have attempted every other cure. He spoke of priests who had tried to cast the darkness from him. He spoke of physicians who believed his condition to be a disease of the brain, alchemists who promised restored mortality, and mystics who claimed that a monster might be purified through the willing sacrifice of an innocent life. How many died in those attempts? Jekyll asked. Dracula did not answer. That silence should have ended the conversation. Instead, Jekyll looked again at the living blood. When would you begin? Tonight. Jekyll hesitated. You understand that I cannot promise success. I have survived failure longer than your nation has existed. And if the experiment destroys you, then it will have accomplished what centuries of enemies could not. Jekyll crossed to the laboratory door and turned the key. He closed the shutters. He lit another lamp. He drew a clean page from his desk and wrote the date at the top. Dracula watched him prepare. You are not afraid of me, Doctor. I am terrified of you. Yet you agree. Fear and curiosity have never been enemies. They should be. Jekyll took the glass vessel containing Dracula's blood. Outside, London slept beneath a gathering fog. Inside the laboratory, two men began an experiment that would teach them both the same truth. A monster removed from its prison does not cease to exist. It becomes free. Chapter 1. The Count and the Doctor. Gabriel John Utterson noticed the change in Henry Jekyll before anyone else. Jekyll had always possessed two temperaments. At dinner, he could be generous, warm, and eager to please. In solitude, he became restless and secretive. Yet in the weeks after the arrival of the mysterious foreign gentleman, both sides of him seemed to sharpen. He spoke more passionately of redemption, but slept less. He gave larger sums to hospitals, but dismissed old friends. He laughed loudly at dinner, though his hands trembled whenever silence returned. Most troubling of all, he altered his will. Utterson sat behind his desk and read the new document twice. The earlier version had contained a peculiar instruction. If Henry Jekyll died or disappeared, his estate would pass to Edward Hyde. Utterson had objected to the clause, but Jekyll had refused to remove it. Now Hyde's name had been replaced. In the event of Jekyll's death or unexplained absence, control of his laboratory and scientific papers would pass to Count Dracula. Utterson folded the document. He disliked mysteries. They encouraged men to confuse imagination with evidence. Yet he disliked unexplained wills even more. A will, in Utterson's experience, was often the shadow cast by a crime not yet committed. That evening, he attended dinner at Jekyll's home. The guests included physicians, judges, and men of science. Jekyll entertained them with his former charm, but his attention repeatedly drifted toward the clock. At 10, the other guests departed. Utterson remained beside the dying fire. "You are unwell, Henry." Jekyll poured himself another glass of wine. "I have never been closer to health. I have seen men use those words when they are closest to ruin. You are a lawyer, Gabriel. You are trained to suspect catastrophe. I am trained to recognize when a man is preparing for one." Jekyll's hand tightened around the glass. Utterson placed the altered will on the table. "Who is Count Dracula?" "A patron of my research." "Then let him give money like any respectable patron. Why give him your papers and laboratory? He understands the importance of my work. More than Lanyon. Lanyon has refused to understand anything discovered after his medical education. More than I do." Jekyll looked away. "That is different. Because I know nothing of science. Because you know too much of me." Before Utterson could answer, Poole entered. "There is a gentleman at the laboratory door, sir." Jekyll placed his wine down too quickly. At this hour, he would not give his name. Utterson saw fear pass across his friend's face, and something more troubling than fear. Anticipation. "I must ask you to leave, Gabriel." "Henry, please." Utterson collected his coat but did not return home. Instead, he walked around the block and waited near the narrow street behind Jekyll's house. At midnight, the laboratory door opened. The man who emerged was tall and unnaturally pale. He wore a black cloak, and the fog seemed to move away from him. Utterson followed. The stranger walked through London without once looking behind him. He passed taverns, theaters, and crowded streets, yet no one approached him. Horses shied as he passed. Dogs lowered their heads. At one intersection, a carriage nearly struck him. The driver shouted and pulled the reins. The horses reared. For a fraction of a second, the Count's body appeared to dissolve into the fog. He stood several yards away when the carriage passed, though Utterson had not seen him move. The pursuit ended at the empty house in Piccadilly. Dracula entered without knocking. Utterson waited until dawn. The stranger did not emerge. Later that morning, Utterson questioned the property agent. He was told that the house had been purchased by an Eastern European nobleman. Payment had been made in ancient gold coins. "Have you met him?" Utterson asked. "Only once." "What impression did he make?" The agent considered the question. "He made me wish the meeting were over." That afternoon, Utterson visited Dr. Hasty Lanyon. Lanyon had once been Jekyll's closest scientific colleague. Their friendship had ended over Jekyll's increasingly unconventional theories. Lanyon welcomed Utterson into his dining room, but became grave when Jekyll's name was mentioned. "Have you heard of a Count Dracula?" Utterson asked. Lanyon's expression hardened. "I have heard the name." "From where?" "Professor Abraham Van Helsing, a Dutch physician. He wrote to me concerning certain diseases of the blood, conditions found in old European accounts." "What sort of conditions?" "The sort no rational man repeats in daylight." Utterson leaned forward. "Repeat them." Lanyon hesitated. He described a creature that sustains itself by consuming the blood of the living, a corpse that thinks, a disease wearing the memory of a man. Utterson remembered the fog moving away from Dracula's body. Could such blood be used in an experiment? Lanyon rose abruptly. "What has Henry done?" "I do not know." "Then find out before he answers a question nature never intended us to ask." Lanyon opened a locked cabinet and removed a letter. It had been sent by Van Helsing several years earlier. The letter described blood that resisted decay and changed when mixed with the blood of living subjects. It warned that the substance carried not only biological properties, but traces of memory and will. At the bottom, Van Helsing had written a single sentence twice. "Do not mistake immortality for life." "Why did he send this to you?" Utterson asked. "Because he knew Jekyll and I had studied abnormal transformations of tissue. He feared someone might attempt to reproduce the condition." "Did you show it to Henry?" "No." "Does he know you possess it?" "I pray he does not." Inside Jekyll's laboratory, the feared experiment was already progressing. For 23 nights, Jekyll and Dracula worked together. At first, they treated each other with formal suspicion. Jekyll collected blood only when Dracula permitted it. Dracula observed every instrument and insisted upon destroying each contaminated needle. Jekyll recorded the effects of light, heat, silver compounds, medicinal herbs, and electrical current. Some results obeyed reason. Most did not. The Count's blood remained inactive in direct sunlight but recovered after darkness returned. It accelerated the growth of ordinary cells, then consumed them when they became weak. When separated from Dracula, it moved toward him. Most remarkable of all, it responded to spoken language. When Jekyll said Dracula's name, the cells gathered. When Dracula ordered them to remain still, they obeyed. "It is not merely blood," Jekyll said. "It is an extension of you. All blood is an extension of the life that carries it. Human blood does not listen. Perhaps humans have forgotten how to command it." Jekyll exposed the sample to his unfinished serum. The mixture divided into 2 layers. The upper layer remained clear. The lower became dark and restless. "The serum recognizes separate states," Jekyll said. "It is distinguishing between your human origin and your transformed condition, or between what you wish to see and what is present. Why must you resist every hopeful interpretation? Because hope has killed more of my victims than despair." During the early nights, Dracula refused to discuss his past, but as Jekyll's questions became more specific, fragments emerged. The Count had once been a ruler, a warrior, and a man who believed cruelty could preserve order. Death had not created his darkness. It had merely freed that darkness from the limitations of age and consequence. "Then you were not innocent before you became what you are," Jekyll said. "No. That distinction matters." "To whom?" "To science." Dracula smiled without amusement. "Science is fortunate. It may study guilt without feeling it." Jekyll turned back to the formula. The original serum had been created from mineral salts, rare organic compounds, and a final impure chemical purchased from a London supplier. Jekyll believed the impurity had made the first transformation possible, but he had never identified it. Dracula's blood offered a replacement, one far more powerful than the unknown salt. "The first formula released the hidden personality," Jekyll explained, "but could not sustain it. The transformed state required my original body. And now, your blood may give the separated personality continuity." "You speak as though it were another person." "In a sense, it is." "No, doctor, it is still you." Jekyll's expression hardened. "You came to me because you wished to be separated from your hunger." "I did." "Then do not condemn me for wanting the same freedom." "I condemn only your certainty that you deserve it." Jekyll sealed the newest mixture. "It is easy for you to speak of acceptance. You abandoned humanity centuries ago." Dracula crossed the room so quickly that Jekyll did not see him move. The Count stood inches away. "Do not confuse endurance with acceptance." The lamps flickered. For a moment, Jekyll felt the full presence of the creature beside him. It was not merely physical danger. It was the pressure of a will that had survived wars, revolutions, and generations of enemies. Then Dracula stepped back. "We continue tomorrow," he said. After he left, Jekyll discovered that his hands were shaking. He told himself it was fear, but another emotion accompanied it: envy. Dracula possessed what Jekyll's hidden self desired: power without apology, appetite without social judgment, and freedom from ordinary consequence. Jekyll hated the Count for it. He also needed him. On the 24th night, the mixture remained stable. The liquid turned crimson, then silver, then clear. A dark shape moved briefly inside the vial. Jekyll smiled. "It is ready." Dracula examined the completed serum. "You do not know that. It has not separated. Neither has a sleeping serpent." Jekyll placed the vial inside a locked cabinet. "Tomorrow night we begin." Outside, unseen by both men, a smaller figure stood in the courtyard beneath the laboratory window. Edward Hyde had not fully emerged for weeks, but he remained within Jekyll. He heard what Jekyll heard. He dreamed what Jekyll saw. And through the glass, reflected faintly behind the doctor, Hyde watched Dracula's blood enter the serum. He smiled from inside the mirror. Chapter 2. The Crimson Serum. Utterson arrived at Jekyll's house the next evening and found the front door locked. Poole let him in. The servant's usually controlled expression had been replaced by visible worry. "Dr. Jekyll has ordered that no one disturb him." "Is the foreign gentleman here?" "He has been in the laboratory since sunset." "Has Dr. Jekyll eaten?" "Almost nothing." "Has he slept?" "I could not say, sir." A sound came from beyond the courtyard. Glass shattered. Then came a cry, not of pain, but of transformation. Utterson crossed the courtyard before Poole could stop him. The laboratory door had been secured from inside. Through the frosted glass, he saw two shadows. One was tall and motionless. The other writhed upon the floor. Inside, Jekyll's body burned with impossible cold. The serum had tasted of metal. For one suspended second, nothing happened. Then he felt an invisible hand close around his heart. His bones contracted, his muscles twisted. Every unspoken resentment, every concealed desire, every act of goodness performed merely to be admired rose within him. He had experienced transformation before. The old serum had allowed him to become Hyde. His body had changed, but the transition was like stepping from one room into another. Jekyll disappeared as Hyde emerged. Hyde vanished when Jekyll returned. This transformation was different. Something remained behind. As Jekyll's body bent toward Hyde's shape, another force pulled in the opposite direction. Dracula's blood refused to permit one form to replace the other. It remembered both. A second heartbeat began inside Jekyll's chest. Then a third beat answered from somewhere outside him. Jekyll fell to his knees. His shadow separated from his body. It climbed the wall, thickened, and stepped forward. A figure emerged from it, a smaller man in clothes that hung loosely around him. His face carried Jekyll's features compressed into a crueler design, yet his eyes possessed a red light that had never belonged to Edward Hyde before. Jekyll collapsed, restored to his own form. Hyde remained standing. For the first time, creator and creation occupied separate bodies. Hyde examined his hands. He touched his face, then looked toward Jekyll. "What have you done to me?" Jekyll stared from the floor. "Given you life." Hyde's confusion became delight. "Life?" Dracula moved between him and the door. "You are Edward Hyde." Hyde looked up at the Count. "And you must be the ingredient." He inhaled. His eyes brightened. "I can smell the grave upon you." "You know nothing of graves." "I was born in one." Hyde moved with startling speed. Dracula caught his wrist before the blow reached him. The impact shook the tables. Bottles fell and broke across the floor. Hyde laughed. "My dear Count, you have given me far more than blood." He twisted free and seized a metal instrument. Before Jekyll could shout, Hyde drove it into Dracula's chest. Utterson heard the impact from outside. "Henry!" Hyde turned toward the sound. "Is that the lawyer?" Jekyll struggled to rise. "You will not touch him. You still speak as though you command me. You came from me, and now I have escaped you." Dracula removed the instrument from his chest. The wound closed, but more slowly than before. Hyde watched with fascination. "Will I do that?" "We may test it," Dracula said. Hyde's smile faded. He struck the rear window and passed through the falling glass. He landed in the alley and vanished into the fog. Utterson and Poole forced the laboratory door open. They found Jekyll on the floor and Dracula standing among broken glass, his shirt torn and stained. Poole cried out. Utterson could not speak. The rational structure of the world had not merely cracked, it had become irrelevant. Jekyll looked at him with exhausted shame. "Gabriel, I can explain." "No," Utterson replied. "I do not believe you can." Dracula approached him. Utterson raised his walking stick, though he knew it would be useless. "Are you going to kill me?" "Not tonight." The answer did nothing to reassure him. Jekyll ordered Poole to leave and lock the front of the house. Poole obeyed only after Utterson promised to remain. Then Jekyll confessed everything. He described the desires he had concealed since youth. He spoke of creating a serum that allowed him to separate his respectable identity from those appetites. He told Utterson how Edward Hyde had been born within his body and how the transformations gradually escaped his control. Finally, he explained Dracula's offer. Utterson listened without interruption. When Jekyll finished, the lawyer looked toward the broken window. "You knowingly recreated Hyde." "I believed I could isolate him." "You believed you could use him." Jekyll had no answer. Dracula examined a bloodstain left on the floor. "He is changing." "What do you mean?" Utterson asked. "My blood has given him more than a body. It has given him adaptive strength. Every injury will teach his flesh how to resist the next." "Can he be killed?" "All things may be killed." "That is not an answer." "It is the only honest answer I possess." Jekyll stood unsteadily. "Then we must produce an antidote." Dracula looked at the remaining serum. "There is another trial to conduct first." Jekyll understood. "You still intend to take it. If the serum can give flesh to your darkness, perhaps it can draw the hunger from mine. We have just seen what it creates. I have seen what eternity creates." Utterson moved between him and the table. "I will not allow another experiment." Dracula looked at him. Utterson felt his courage weaken, but did not step aside. "You are in my friend's house," the lawyer continued. "You have contributed to the creation of a dangerous man. Whatever authority you possess elsewhere, you possess none here." To Jekyll's surprise, Dracula did not strike him. Instead, he inclined his head. "You are loyal. I am practical. The two qualities rarely occupy the same man." Then Dracula moved past him. Before Jekyll could interfere, the Count drank the serum. He did not fall. He did not transform. For several seconds he appeared unchanged. Then his face tightened. He gripped the edge of the table so hard that the wood cracked beneath his fingers. Somewhere within him, a door opened. He remembered a woman kneeling before him in a ruined chapel. She had begged him to spare her sons. He remembered promising mercy and giving none. He remembered soldiers dying at his command and villages emptied by his hunger. He saw faces, whose names he had deliberately forgotten. He remembered his first victim after death, a young guard who had once served him faithfully. He remembered the man recognizing him, smiling with relief, and stepping close enough to die. Centuries of memory returned without the protection of indifference. Dracula dropped to his knees. "What is happening?" Jekyll asked. Dracula pressed both hands against his head. The laboratory walls vanished from his sight. In their place stood corridors of memory, each filled with the dead. The serum had attempted to divide the Count's human nature from his vampiric hunger, but the two had been bound together for too long. It could not create a second body. Instead, it weakened the wall Dracula had built between action and remorse. Every crime remained his. Every victim returned. Utterson watched the creature tremble. Until that moment, he had considered Dracula incapable of human feeling. Now the Count's agony appeared so human that Utterson found it more frightening than his supernatural strength. Dracula looked at his hands, as if seeing blood upon them. "You have not removed the monster," he said. His voice had lost its cold authority. "You have returned the man who must remember what the monster did." The effect lasted until dawn. Dracula refused assistance. He remained in a dark corner of the laboratory while Jekyll examined his blood. The cells had changed. They still carried the vampiric condition, but they no longer moved as one obedient mass. Some responded to Dracula's will. Others resisted, as though the conflict inside him had become biological. Utterson sat beside the cold furnace. "What happens now?" Jekyll looked toward the window. "We find Hyde." "And the Count?" Dracula answered from the shadows. "The Count discovers whether a conscience can survive what he remembers." Outside, the morning newspapers arrived. On the front page was a report of a brutal disturbance in Soho. A chemist had been attacked. Several rare compounds had been stolen. Witnesses described the criminal as a small man, with a frightening manner and eyes that appeared red beneath the street lamps. Edward Hyde had begun his own experiment. Chapter 3. The Monster Without a Master. Hyde discovered that freedom possessed an intoxicating taste. He no longer needed to hide inside Jekyll's body. He no longer feared that sunrise would drag him back into the doctor's respectable flesh. He could walk through London while Jekyll remained in his laboratory, tormented by crimes he had not yet committed. Yet independence brought unfamiliar problems. Hyde had no legal identity beyond the documents Jekyll once created for him. He possessed money but could not explain its source. He knew Jekyll's secrets, but every person who saw him felt instinctive disgust. In the past, that disgust had pleased him. It proved that respectable people recognized the truth he concealed. Now it became an obstacle. He needed a laboratory. He needed servants. He needed blood. Hyde rented rooms in Soho under a false name. The landlord accepted payment without questions. Within 3 days, Hyde had recruited thieves to obtain chemicals. Within 5, he had bribed an assistant from a hospital. Within a week, he had begun reproducing Jekyll's formula. At first, the thieves laughed at him. The laughter ended when one man attempted to steal from him. Hyde caught the thief's hand and squeezed until the man dropped the coins. Then he released him without breaking a bone. "I could injure you," Hyde said. "Fear is more useful when it can return tomorrow." The men obeyed after that. Hyde studied his new body. Cuts closed within minutes. Poison produced fever but not death. He could see in darkness and hear whispered conversations from across a room. He could not command animals or change his shape as Dracula could, but sunlight did not weaken him. He had inherited the advantages of the Count's blood, without its oldest limitations. Still, something was missing. The stolen sample inside him was finite. Each act of rapid healing consumed part of it. Unless he obtained more, his powers would gradually diminish. He needed Dracula. Meanwhile, the Count remained in Jekyll's house. Dracula could still hear human hearts through walls. He still hungered, but every pulse now belonged to a person he could imagine mourning, hoping, and fearing. The return of conscience did not diminish the thirst. It made the thirst unbearable. On the second night, Jekyll entered the laboratory carrying a glass of animal blood obtained from a slaughterhouse. Dracula turned away. "You must feed," Jekyll said. "Do not instruct me in survival. If you weaken, you cannot help us stop Hyde." Dracula looked toward the curtained window. How many men have justified evil with those words? No person was harmed in obtaining this. Then you believe the nature of hunger changes according to the source. I believe an imperfect solution is preferable to another death. Dracula's expression hardened. That is how it begins. How what begins? The construction of reasons. Jekyll placed the glass on the table. You did not choose what you became. No, but I chose what I did afterward. So did I. The admission silenced them both. Jekyll looked at the untouched glass. I blamed Hyde for actions I desired. I told myself that he was a separate man because it permitted me to return to society without guilt. And now he is separate, yet no less mine. Dracula approached the glass. You envy him. Jekyll did not deny it. Part of me does. Why? Because he no longer requires me. Dracula studied the doctor. For the first time, he recognized something familiar in Jekyll. Dracula had created servants, followers, and transformed beings throughout his long existence. He had always expected obedience from what he made. Their independence felt like betrayal. You did not seek to free Hyde, Dracula said. You sought to control him without sharing his punishment. Jekyll looked away. Yes. The Count lifted the glass of animal blood and drank. The blood gave him strength but no pleasure. When he finished, he looked older rather than restored. Utterson spent his days tracing Hyde's movements. He questioned chemical suppliers, hospital porters, and landlords. Most remembered Hyde with reluctance. None could explain precisely why they disliked him. His appearance was unusual but not monstrous. His voice was controlled. His clothes were expensive. Nevertheless, every witness described the sensation of being near a cruelty that had not yet chosen its object. The trail led Utterson to a printer. The man had produced hundreds of invitations for a private demonstration. He showed Utterson the original order. The invitation bore Jekyll's name. Dr. Henry JEKYLL requests the honor of your presence at a demonstration of the liberation of human character. The event was to be held beneath an abandoned theater near the Thames. The guests included politicians, financiers, judges, physicians, and members of the aristocracy. Hyde was not merely preparing more serum. He was preparing an audience. Utterson brought the invitation to Jekyll. He intends to destroy you publicly. No, Jekyll replied, that would be too simple. Dracula examined the list of guests. He intends to recruit them. Jekyll read the names. Several belonged to former patients. They were men who had confessed private compulsions while seeking his medical advice. Others had reputations built upon rigid public morality. Hyde had selected them because he knew what they concealed. He will offer them freedom, Jekyll said. And they will accept, Dracula replied. Not all of them. Enough. Utterson placed another object on the table, a small bottle obtained from one of Hyde's thieves. The liquid inside was pale red. Jekyll examined it. He is producing a diluted formula. Would it transform someone? Not physically, but it might suppress restraint, judgment, and empathy. For how long? Hours, perhaps days. Dracula looked toward the city beyond the shuttered window. A city does not require permanent madness to destroy itself. One night may be sufficient. Jekyll began work on an antidote. The original serum had divided mental states by amplifying what the subject repressed. To reverse it, he needed a compound that reinforced memory and emotional association. He experimented with sedatives, electrical stimulation, and extracts used in the treatment of shock. Dracula offered a darker suggestion. Use my blood again. Jekyll looked at him. That is what created Hyde's body. It also returned my memories. Properly altered, it may restore the connections Hyde's diluted serum suppresses. The risk is enormous. Dracula almost smiled. You have discovered caution at an interesting hour. They worked together for 2 nights. Utterson observed from the side of the laboratory. He had no scientific training, but he noticed that their relationship had changed. Jekyll no longer treated Dracula as a specimen. Dracula no longer treated Jekyll as a tool. They argued as equals bound by shared responsibility. On the 3rd night, Lanyon arrived. Utterson had sent for him despite Jekyll's objections. The physician entered the laboratory, saw Dracula, and stopped. God help us. Dracula regarded him. He has been invited, God has not. Lanyon turned to Jekyll. You used the blood. Yes. And Hyde. Independent. Lanyon closed his eyes. You were warned. I was. You understood the warning. I believed I understood more. Lanyon examined the antidote. His anger gradually gave way to professional focus. He corrected Jekyll's dosage and identified a dangerous interaction between 2 compounds. For several hours, the old friends worked side by side. Near dawn, Lanyon found Jekyll alone beside the furnace. Can Hyde truly be brought back into you? I do not know. If he can, will you survive? I do not know that either. Lanyon lowered his voice. You must consider another possibility. Killing him. Yes. He possesses my memories. That does not make him you. He was created by my choices. Responsibility does not require suicide. No, Jekyll said, but it may require risk. Before Lanyon could answer, the lamps went out. Poole shouted from the corridor. A body struck the laboratory door. Then Hyde stepped from the darkness. His eyes glowed faintly red. He wore a well-cut black suit and carried a silver walking stick taken from one of Jekyll's former rooms. You have invited the entire family, Hyde said. Lanyon backed toward the wall. Hyde glanced at him. Dr. Lanyon, the devoted servant of respectable science, tell me, did you come to save Henry or to witness his humiliation? Dracula moved between Hyde and the others. You came for my blood. I came for what is mine. Nothing in me belongs to you. Hyde smiled. Then why does it answer? He opened his palm. A drop of blood left Dracula's sleeve and moved through the air toward him. Dracula closed his fist, forcing it to fall. Hyde attacked. The fight crossed the laboratory in seconds. Dracula drove Hyde against the stone wall, but Hyde rose laughing. He had studied the Count's movements during their first encounter. This time, he anticipated them. He slashed Dracula's arm with a silver blade and collected the blood in a small metal tube. Jekyll seized him from behind. For one moment, their faces appeared side by side, the honorable doctor and the thing created from everything he denied. Hyde threw him into a table. Lanyon attempted to inject Hyde with the antidote. Hyde caught his wrist. You still believe every disorder belongs in a bottle. He pushed Lanyon aside, but Dracula struck him before he could do more. Hyde crashed through a cabinet. Jekyll stood again. "You will not touch them." Hyde wiped blood from his mouth. "You continue to misunderstand me, Henry. I am not your disease. You are everything in me that should have been resisted. I am everything in you that was forced to kneel." Hyde held up the stolen blood. "Tomorrow, London will be cured of shame." He threw a chemical vial into the furnace. Green flame filled the room. By the time the others extinguished it, Hyde had vanished. Lanyon sat against the wall, breathing heavily. "I once thought Jekyll's theories were offensive to reason," he said. Utterson helped him stand. "And now I would give anything for them to be merely offensive." Jekyll looked at the shattered window. "We must destroy the serum." Dracula watched his own blood darken the floor. "No, we must destroy the lie that created him." "What lie?" "That a man may remove his evil and remain innocent of it." Chapter 4. The City of Masks. The abandoned theater had once entertained London with spectacles of ghosts, devils, and mechanical monsters. Its final owner had gone bankrupt after a fire killed 2 stagehands and destroyed much of the interior. The building remained closed for years. Rain entered through the roof. Rats nested beneath the seats. The painted faces above the stage faded until comedy and tragedy wore the same expression. Hyde found it appropriate that its final performance would be real. Beneath the stage, he built a laboratory larger than Jekyll's. Glass cylinders stood beside the old machinery. Pipes connected the laboratory to the theater's ventilation system. Inside a central vessel, crimson serum boiled over a blue flame. Hyde altered the formula with Dracula's stolen blood. Those who inhaled it would not physically transform. The dose was weaker, but its effect would be immediate. Conscience would retreat, restraint would dissolve, and every concealed appetite would rise. Hyde did not believe this would create monsters. It would reveal them. He walked through the theater hours before the demonstration. His servants lit lamps, cleaned the front entrance, and placed wine in the lobby. Musicians hired for the occasion tuned their instruments without knowing what would occur. Hyde stood before a cracked mirror in the dressing room. For the first time, he saw changes in his face. He was becoming more like Jekyll. His features were less compressed. His posture had straightened. The longer he remained separate, the more his body adopted the shape of the source from which it had been formed. The discovery angered him. He had believed independence meant becoming entirely himself. Instead, Jekyll's face waited beneath his own like a future he could not escape. Hyde smashed the mirror. One of his assistants entered. "The first carriages have arrived. Then begin the performance." The guests came in formal clothes, expecting a private scientific exhibition. Some had attended Jekyll's dinners. Others had once sought his confidential medical advice. They recognized his name on the invitation and assumed respectability, where none remained. Above the stage, hidden among the ropes, Utterson watched them enter. He carried keys, legal documents proving the building unsafe, and a revolver he did not expect to use effectively. Lanyon waited near the rear exit with the antidote. Jekyll entered through a passage beneath the stage. Dracula came by another route, moving through old drainage tunnels beneath the building. He had not fed since the previous night. Weakness made his movements slower, but he refused Jekyll's offer of more blood. Their plan was simple. Utterson would open the exits and evacuate the guests. Lanyon would distribute the antidote if the serum was released. Dracula would destroy the ventilation pipes. Jekyll would confront Hyde and stop the main apparatus. None of them believed the plan would survive first contact with reality. At 11 o'clock, Hyde appeared on the stage. The guests murmured. Many recognized the name Edward Hyde from scandalous rumors. Others saw only a small, unpleasant man dressed in clothes of remarkable quality. "My distinguished friends," Hyde began, "you have been told that civilization is built upon virtue." He walked beside the great glass vessel. "It is not. Civilization is built upon concealment." Behind him, the serum began moving through the pipes. "You condemn greed while building empires upon it. You praise marriage while purchasing secrecy. You sentence thieves while stealing through contracts. You send men to die while calling yourselves peaceful." Several guests protested. One man demanded to know where Dr. Jekyll was. Hyde smiled. "Closer than you imagine." Utterson moved along the gallery toward the fire alarm. Hyde continued, "I do not condemn you. Condemnation is merely appetite disguised as morality. I offer liberation." Utterson pulled the alarm. A bell rang through the theater. The musicians stopped. Guests turned toward the exits, but Hyde's servants had locked them. "Remain calm," Utterson shouted from the gallery. "The building is unsafe. Proceed to the side doors." A thin red vapor appeared near the ceiling. Panic spread. In the machinery chamber, Dracula tore the first pipe from the wall. Crimson gas escaped. He covered his face, but the serum touched his skin. The hunger inside him surged. Every heartbeat in the theater became thunder. He could hear blood moving through hundreds of veins. He knew which hearts were weak, which bodies were ill, and which throats would yield most easily. The serum did not remove conscience. It overwhelmed the bridge between knowledge and choice. Dracula gripped the broken pipe. For one terrible moment, he imagined entering the theater and feeding until no heartbeat remained. Then he remembered the woman in the ruined chapel. She had not been nameless. Her name had been Alona. The serum had returned that memory too. Dracula crushed the pipe in his hands. Above him, Lanyon opened the rear exit. Several guests escaped, but others had already inhaled the vapor. A respected judge struck a servant who attempted to help him. A financier seized another man's coat and searched it for valuables. Two politicians began shouting accusations they had concealed for years. The serum did not invent desire. It removed the last question asked before desire became action. Lanyon poured the antidote into glasses of water and ordered the guests to drink. Some obeyed, others knocked the glasses aside. Utterson crossed the stage and unlocked the main doors. Hyde watched the disorder with satisfaction. "Look at them," he called, "not transformed, revealed." Jekyll stepped into the light. The audience fell quiet enough to hear him. Hyde applauded. "At last, the father acknowledges his son." "You are not my son." "No, a son may blame his father. I am you without the privilege of denial." Jekyll looked at the audience. "He is telling you part of the truth." Hyde stopped smiling. "I created him because I wanted freedom from responsibility," Jekyll continued. "I wished to indulge every impulse I denied while returning afterward to the reputation of a good man. The confession was more painful than transformation." Jekyll recognized several colleagues among the guests. He saw judgment in their faces. He also saw relief in Hyde's, as though the creature believed Jekyll had finally surrendered. "I told myself Hyde was another person," Jekyll said. "I called him a disease because it was easier than admitting he expressed desires I refused to govern." Hyde spread his hands. "And now you understand." "No, now I understand what you are." "What am I?" "A choice repeated until it pretends to be a nature." Hyde's expression hardened. "You think confession gives you power over me?" "No, but it takes away the secrecy in which you grew." Hyde opened the main valve. Crimson vapor flooded the stage. Dracula dropped from the gallery and landed between the gas and the audience. He seized the iron ventilation mechanism and pulled it from the floor. The machinery collapsed. Hyde attacked him. They struck the stage with enough force to break the boards. Dracula was stronger, but the vapor weakened his control. His eyes burned red, his teeth lengthened. Hyde cut his palm and held the blood beneath Dracula's face. "Why resist?" Hyde whispered. "You were a monster long before Henry Jekyll gave his monster a name." Dracula stared at the blood. "Yes." Hyde hesitated. The Count seized his throat. "That is why I know what you will become." Hyde drove his elbow into Dracula's chest and escaped. He ran toward Jekyll, but Utterson struck him with his walking stick. The stick broke. Hyde turned slowly. "You have been waiting to do that for years." "I have been resisting the desire," Utterson replied. Hyde raised his hand. Jekyll stepped between them. "Leave him." "Why? Because he is good." "Because he is not yours." Behind them, Lanyon reached the central vessel. He poured the concentrated antidote into the crimson serum. The liquid turned black. For a moment, everyone waited. Then the vessel began to shake. "Get down," Lanyon shouted. The glass exploded. Dracula pulled Utterson behind a section of the stage. Jekyll shielded Lanyon. Hyde remained standing as black rain fell around him. The vapor cleared. The affected guests began recovering. Some stared in horror at what they had done. Others immediately denied responsibility. Hyde looked at Jekyll. "You see, even when conscience returns, they prefer excuses. That does not make conscience worthless. It makes it a costume." "No," Utterson said. "A costume is worn to be seen. Conscience matters most when no one is watching." Hyde laughed. "The lawyer has become a philosopher." Lanyon examined a sample of Hyde's blood left on the broken glass. His expression changed. "Henry." Jekyll approached. "What is it?" "The antidote is affecting his cells, but it is not destroying them." "Because of Dracula's blood?" "No, because they are returning to their original pattern." Jekyll understood. Hyde had become independent in flesh but not in origin. The psychic bond remained. Jekyll felt Hyde's anger before Hyde expressed it. He dreamed what Hyde saw. Their separation was incomplete. No antidote could kill Hyde without also threatening Jekyll. But the connection might allow Hyde to be brought back. Jekyll looked at the remaining vial of concentrated serum. Hyde saw his expression. For the first time, he appeared afraid. "You cannot reverse me with chemistry," Hyde said. "I am no longer in your blood." "Not entirely." Hyde backed toward the burning machinery. Jekyll filled a syringe. Utterson caught his arm. "If you do this, you may die." "Yes." "You may become him permanently." "Yes." "Then find another way." "There is no other way that does not leave him free to harm others." "You are not required to destroy yourself to prove remorse." "This is not proof, Gabriel. It is responsibility." Dracula moved behind Hyde. The Count's face was strained by hunger, but his voice remained controlled. "Now, Doctor." Hyde looked from Dracula to Jekyll. "You would trust him. He has killed more people than I could count." Dracula answered quietly. "That is true. He helped create me." "That is also true." "Then he is no better than I am." "No," Dracula said, "but tonight I am choosing not to be worse." Fire spread through the machinery chamber. A fallen lamp ignited the curtains, and flames climbed toward the galleries. The final experiment had begun. Chapter 5. The last experiment. Smoke gathered beneath the theater roof. Utterson and Lanyon directed the remaining guests toward the exits. Some helped one another. Others fled without looking back. Several disappeared into their carriages before anyone could ask what they remembered. Soon only Jekyll, Hyde, Dracula, Utterson, and Lanyon remained near the stage. Jekyll held the syringe. It contained the final concentration of his serum, mixed with Dracula's blood and Lannion's antidote. The formula could reunite divided biological matter. In theory, it would draw Hyde back into the body from which he came. If Jekyll's body rejected the reunion, both men would die. If it accepted Hyde without restoring Jekyll's control, Hyde might take permanent possession. Lannion seized Jekyll's shoulder. You cannot predict the result. No. Then this is not science. Jekyll looked at the approaching fire. No, it is judgment. Dracula forced Hyde to his knees. Do it. Jekyll pressed the needle into his own arm. The effect was immediate. Hyde screamed. A dark line appeared beneath his skin, running from his chest toward Jekyll like smoke pulled by wind. His outline flickered. For an instant, the burning stage could be seen through him. No, Hyde shouted, you wanted me. I did. You knighted me. I did. You are nothing without me. Jekyll stepped closer. I am responsible for you. That is not the same as belonging to you. Hyde reached for him. Their hands met. The theater vanished from Jekyll's sight. He stood in a limitless dark room filled with doors. Behind each door waited a memory. He saw himself as a boy praised for obedience. He remembered discovering that adults rewarded the appearance of goodness more reliably than goodness itself. He saw his father's disappointment whenever young Henry expressed anger. He saw himself learning to smile while resentment remained unspoken. Another door opened. Jekyll saw his university years. He remembered nights of indulgence followed by mornings of public respectability. He remembered realizing that society would forgive almost anything if a man possessed wealth, manners, and the correct name. He saw the first moment the idea of Hyde entered his mind, not as a scientific theory, but as a fantasy. A face without consequence. A body without reputation. A name that could be blamed. The memories continued. He saw every transformation. He felt Hyde's exhilaration as limitations vanished. He relived cruelty that he had later described as another man's crime. The truth was worse than guilt. Part of him had enjoyed it. Jekyll wanted to turn away. He did not. Hyde stood before him, no longer physically deformed. In the shared interior of their mind, he wore Jekyll's own face. If you take me back, Hyde said, you will feel everything. Yes. You will want everything I wanted. Yes. You will dream of it. Yes. One day you will become tired. One day resistance will feel meaningless, and I will be waiting. Jekyll looked at him. I know. You will never again believe yourself entirely good. That belief was the beginning of you. Hyde moved closer. Then what are you without it? A man responsible for his next choice. Hyde struck him. Pain crossed the imagined space. Jekyll fell, but the room was part of himself. There was nowhere to escape and no external enemy to defeat. Hyde struck him again. You cannot imprison me forever. No. You cannot destroy desire. No. You cannot promise that you will always resist. No. Hyde stopped. Jekyll rose. I can promise only that I will not call you someone else. The doors around them opened simultaneously. Every memory, impulse, shame, and unfulfilled desire entered the room. Hyde staggered beneath their weight. He had been created from fragments Jekyll selected and rejected. He had never carried the whole life. He knew appetite but not affection, resentment but not gratitude, humiliation but not the comfort of friendship. Now all of Jekyll's memories entered him. He remembered Utterson remaining after dinner when other guests left. He remembered Lannion laughing with him before pride ended their friendship. He remembered Poole serving his household with loyalty. He remembered patients whose suffering had inspired genuine compassion. Hyde recoiled. "What are you doing?" "Giving you what I denied you." "I do not want this." "No," Jekyll said, "neither did I want you." Hyde fell to his knees. "If you take me back, you will hate yourself. Perhaps you will lose everything. Perhaps you will never be free." Jekyll extended his arms. Freedom without responsibility is merely another prison. He embraced the other man. The darkness collapsed. Back in the burning theater, Hyde's body dissolved into black vapor. It streamed into Jekyll's mouth, eyes, and wounded arm. Jekyll fell. Dracula caught him before his head struck the floor. For several seconds, Jekyll's body changed rapidly. His hands contracted, then returned. His face became Hyde's and then his own. One eye remained dark while the other burned red. Lanyon prepared another injection. "Hold him." Dracula restrained Jekyll as Lanyon administered the antidote. Jekyll screamed in two voices. Then he became still. Utterson knelt beside him. "Henry." Jekyll opened his eyes. For a moment, Utterson did not know which man looked through them. "Gabriel," Jekyll whispered. Utterson released a breath. "Can you stand?" "I do not know. We must leave." The fire reached the laboratory beneath the stage. Chemicals ignited in bursts of blue and green flame. A burning beam fell across the main passage. Lanyon helped Utterson lift Jekyll. Dracula led them toward the rear exit, but part of the ceiling collapsed. The passage vanished behind burning timber. "There is another route," Lanyon said, "through the eastern doors." Dracula stopped. Beyond those doors, dawn had begun. A pale line of sunlight crossed the floor. Utterson understood. "If you cross that threshold, I know. We can find another way. There is no time." Another beam fell. Dracula caught it with both hands, holding the burning timber above the others. Smoke rose from his coat. His strength was failing. "Go." Lanyon passed beneath the beam first. Utterson dragged Jekyll after him. A section of the floor collapsed behind them, separating Dracula from the eastern doors. "Count," Jekyll shouted. Dracula threw the beam aside and leaped across the opening. He landed near the doorway, but the sunlight had widened. It touched his hand. His skin burned. The Count withdrew into shadow. Jekyll attempted to return, but Utterson held him. "You cannot help him. He helped us. That does not change the sun." Inside the theater, fire surrounded Dracula. He could retreat into the underground tunnels, but part of the passage had collapsed. The nearest entrance was blocked by burning debris. He looked toward the widening daylight. For centuries he had fled dawn. He had crossed oceans in boxes of earth and hidden behind curtains while ordinary men walked beneath the sun without fear. Now the light stood between him and the lives he had chosen to save. Hyde's voice seemed to remain in the theater. Why resist? Dracula remembered all the reasons he had once given himself. He had called hunger necessity. He had called domination strength. He had called immortality destiny. The serum had stripped those words of power. What remained was choice. Dracula stepped into the sunlight. Flame moved across his skin. His face tightened, but he continued forward. Lanyon stared. That should be impossible. Jekyll understood. The serum changed him. It had not cured Dracula. The sunlight still burned, but his divided blood no longer surrendered instantly to the curse. The human cells restored by Jekyll's formula fought to preserve him even as the vampiric condition destroyed them. Every step became a battle within his flesh. Dracula reached the doorway and placed Jekyll's arm over his shoulder. Together, they crossed into the street. The theater roof collapsed behind them. Firefighters and policemen rushed forward. Dracula pulled his cloak over his face and moved into the shadow of a carriage. Utterson followed. The Count's exposed hand was blackened, but new skin slowly formed beneath the burns. "You survived," Utterson said. "For now." Jekyll leaned against the carriage. "Did it work?" Dracula asked. Jekyll closed his eyes. Hyde remained within him, not as a separate voice, but as anger, appetite, vanity, and possibility. Jekyll could feel the temptation to blame Hyde for what had happened. He refused it. "He is here," Jekyll said. Dracula nodded. "Then keep him where all men must keep their monsters." "Where?" "Within reach of conscience." Sirens and bells filled the street. Dracula turned toward a narrow alley where shadows remained. Jekyll caught his sleeve. "Come back to the laboratory. We may still complete your treatment." Dracula looked at him. "Would you separate the hunger from me?" "If I can." "And where would you put it?" Jekyll had no answer. Dracula stepped away. "Your experiment has already given me what I required." "A cure?" "No." The Count glanced toward the rising sun. "A reason to seek one without creating another monster." He disappeared into the alley. When the police searched it moments later, they found no one. Only a trail of blood leading toward the tunnels beneath London. Epilogue. A man at dawn. Henry Jekyll survived. The newspapers described the destruction of the theater as an accident involving experimental gas. Several prominent guests denied having attended. Others claimed they had been invited but had left before the demonstration. A judge who had attacked a servant insisted the gas had rendered him unconscious. A financier quietly returned property taken from another guest. Two politicians accused each other of arranging the entire event. The authorities found no body belonging to Edward Hyde. Within a month, London chose to forget. Jekyll closed his private laboratory. He destroyed the notes concerning physical separation and gave the remaining medical records to Lanyon. The two men never fully recovered their former friendship, but they spoke again without hostility. Lanyon's health had been damaged by what he witnessed. Yet unlike the man he might once have been, he no longer dismissed everything he could not explain. "There are facts," he told Jekyll, "that reason must accept before it can understand them." Jekyll returned to medicine. He did not return to his former life of elegant dinners and public praise. He continued his charitable work, but ceased announcing each donation. He treated patients whom other physicians rejected. Most importantly, he changed the way he spoke to those who feared their own thoughts. He no longer promised purification. He told them that an impulse was not an action, that shame often strengthened what it attempted to bury, and that goodness was not a permanent condition possessed by certain superior people. Character, he said, was a decision repeatedly made. Some nights, Jekyll awoke with Hyde's desires moving through him. He dreamed of freedom without consequence. He imagined drinking the old serum and escaping his name. But there was no serum. There was no second body. When anger came, it belonged to Henry Jekyll. When cruelty tempted him, it used Henry Jekyll's voice. The knowledge frightened him. It also made resistance possible. Utterson preserved one account of the events and sealed it inside his office. He continued serving as Jekyll's lawyer, though he insisted upon drafting a new will. This time, no mysterious beneficiary appeared. Poole remained in Jekyll's service. He never asked what had happened in the laboratory. He merely accepted the doctor's instruction that the rear door was never again to be locked against the household. As for Dracula, rumors continued. A dockworker claimed to have seen a pale nobleman boarding a ship before sunrise, though no passenger list contained his name. A nurse at a charity hospital spoke of an anonymous donation delivered in an ancient gold box. In JEKYLL, a violent man was found unconscious in an alley beside a note bearing only a red wax seal. For several months, no unexplained disappearances were reported near the Count's Piccadilly house. Then the house was sold. The new owner found its rooms empty except for one chamber in the cellar. There, beneath heavy curtains, stood a table covered with medical books. Many had been written by Jekyll. Beside them was a list of names. The first names had been crossed out in dark ink. They belonged to people who had died decades or centuries earlier. The final entries remained untouched. They were the names of living men and women Dracula had once intended to claim. No one on the list disappeared. Years passed. Jekyll's hair turned gray. Utterson's steps became slower. Lanyon died after a brief illness, leaving his medical collection to a London hospital. One winter evening, Utterson received a letter without a return address. The envelope was sealed with dark red wax. He carried it to Jekyll before opening it. They sat together in the same drawing room where Utterson had once confronted his friend about the altered will. The handwriting inside was formal and unfamiliar. Mr. Utterson, Dr. Jekyll once believed science might separate a man from his sins. I believed it might separate a monster from its hunger. We were both mistaken. Hunger is not a foreign creature placed within me. It has shaped every decision I have made for longer than either of you has lived. To cut it away would not restore the man I was. That man has been gone for centuries. Yet the absence of a cure does not require surrender. I have discovered that conscience is not a light that destroys darkness. It is the light by which darkness becomes visible. The hunger remains, so does the man who now refuses to obey it. Tell Henry that his experiment did not cure me. It gave me something more painful and perhaps more valuable than a cure. It gave me a choice. There was no signature. Inside the envelope lay a small key. The key opened a deposit box registered under a false name. Utterson and Jekyll visited the bank the following morning. Inside the box, they found the final vial of crimson serum. Dracula had taken it from the theater before the fire. There was also a notebook recording his observations after the experiment. He described partial resistance to sunlight, decreased control over animals, and an increasing inability to feed without experiencing the memories of his victims. One entry had been written only weeks earlier. The doctor believed the monster must be separated so the man could become free. I now suspect freedom begins when separation ends. So long as the monster is called another name, it may act without consequence. When it bears our own name, every action becomes a choice. Utterson closed the notebook. "What will you do with the serum?" he asked. Jekyll held the vial toward the window. The liquid moved faintly inside it. "With this, we might continue the research." "You said the research was over." "I said I had destroyed my notes. That is not the same as losing the question." "Henry." Jekyll looked at his old friend. He saw fear in Utterson's face, the same practical fear that had followed him into laboratories, theaters, and impossible dangers. Jekyll also felt Hyde's curiosity inside himself. One vial, one final experiment. Perhaps the formula could be improved. Perhaps Dracula could truly be restored. Perhaps the violent impulses of humanity could be controlled without creating another body. Or perhaps those were merely respectable words covering the same desire that had begun everything. Jekyll placed the vial in his pocket. Together, they returned to the ruined laboratory behind his house. The room had not been used for years. Dust covered the tables. The damaged window had been replaced, but Jekyll could still remember Hyde standing among the broken glass. He lit the furnace. The old flame returned. For a moment, he was again the man who believed knowledge exempted him from humility. He removed the vial. The serum glowed crimson in his hand. Hyde did not speak. Hyde no longer possessed a separate voice. But Jekyll felt the desire. He accepted that it was his own. Then he released the vial. Glass shattered in the furnace. The serum burned silver, then crimson, then black. Shapes moved inside the flames. Jekyll, Hyde, Dracula, and faces belonging to no one who had yet existed. When the fire died, nothing remained. Outside, morning spread across London. Jekyll stood beside the window, feeling the old impulses within himself: pride, resentment, curiosity, and the desire to be admired as a good man. They had not disappeared. He no longer expected them to. Somewhere beyond the city, Dracula waited for night while carrying the unbearable weight of everything he had done. Neither man had destroyed his monster. Neither man had been purified. Neither could claim that darkness belonged to someone else. But for the first time, both understood that redemption was not a transformation performed once in a laboratory. It was not a serum. It was not a separation. It was not the removal of temptation or the destruction of memory. Redemption was the responsibility of choosing, while temptation remained. It was a choice that had to be made again each day, and sometimes each night.